Hi, it's Nikki B from NiceLadyThought.com. I've been blogging for 9 years, and over the past 9 years, I've written thousands of blogs. And I've done different series, such as my latest Scammers, Gaslighting, Mother Fracture, and normally people want to know what motivated the blog. Why did you write it? Give us the tea on what's really going on. Well, this is why I'm starting this video blog. Stay tuned and we'll discuss why I wrote it. Hi, welcome to episode 1 of Behind the Blog video series. In each episode, I will talk about why I created the blog series, what happened, and what did I hope to achieve. More recently, I blogged on a series called Scammers. And Scammers was very personal to me because financial fraud has been the crux of my career. Prior to ever becoming a lawyer, I had worked as a student attorney in a clinic working on securities fraud, and also more particularly, I had hands-on experience dealing with an identity theft case. This later on led to me working as an intern for the Los Angeles Securities and Exchange Commission, where the Securities Exchange Commission would try to punish wrongdoers for committing acts of defrauding and financial misrepresentation and other matters to get people to invest. And we would try to get back investors their money and not punish them in a way that would affect shareholders. Later on, I kind of divulged off of that track, but ever since I've returned to New York City, I have done a lot of work in those related matters. So I understand the pain behind it, how heartbroken people are when they think they did the right thing only to get stabbed in the back and in the front. So in November 2018, I was reading articles and I was also hearing commentary, video commentary about scams. And one particular scam caught my attention because I knew of a person that was being accused of allegedly being a scammer. When I listened to the stories, I felt that it was an issue of incompetence. I didn't believe that the person had the ability to scam someone. But as I dug a little bit deeper, I found out that there may have been some foul play and it was greater than incompetence. And the claims weren't just out of the air. The claims seemed to be a little bit valid, but the court of law will decide that. I'm not going to decide that. And after listening to those articles, commentaries, and other things, then here goes something that really made me a little bit sad, wanted me to get involved, that made me want to get involved, but I did not, was when I saw youngsters particularly being scammed by someone who has been accused by various different people of being a scammer, a con artist. And I was listening to people blame them, and I felt like they may have done some things wrong, but those youngsters can legally deal with those matters by hiring a good attorney, and maybe they might have the last laugh. But over the holidays, I had someone approach me who happened to be the head of IT for a department. And he was telling me some stuff and I was just taken aback because he was talking about an employee that nearly got the company in trouble because she was a victim of a ransomware and phishing scam. One in particular, she nearly lost her whole paycheck. She had gotten an email, and instead of verifying it or checking the link to make sure it wasn't from some crazy source, because if you click on the link, sometimes it may look like a valid company, but if you click on the link, it'll say some cuckoo-ness that you know it's not from that company. This woman decides to reply to the email and give over her information for ADP. And for those of you who do not know what ADP is a payroll system that many companies use to pay their employees. And the payroll, and they nearly got away with committing the scam. But the good thing was, in ADP, they don't always pay off money quickly, especially if it's a fake account. When she checked after not being paid, the money was there, and it was $10,000, because this lady is the head of a department. I don't want to get too personal for people to figure out who did what, and she should have known better. But for me, the reason why it's so shocking is because I have been trained so heavily to the point, even on Saturday, I was doing a course on cybersecurity. So it kind of takes me off guard that a lot of companies are not having their employees being required to sit in a training. They don't have to conduct it, but you could have video training where employees are alerted of the kind of scams that they need to be aware of to prevent the company from going under or becoming a victim of it. So that was one incident that happened. And also, I have been a victim. I've not been a victim. I have had people attempt and try to also scam me, but I'm happy that I have never been scammed at all. And I know of one relative, which also motivated the blog, who was scammed on one of those vacation getaway scams. And she had issues with cleaning up her credit, and also she also ended up having identity theft issues with random stuff being charged on her credit card at various times following that scam. So people are like, so what? If you get scammed, what happens? What's the worst that could happen? Well, while you're cleaning up that mess, those people may be taking your information and making messes elsewhere. So you want to be very wise in your dealings with others, and you want to do your research. And nowadays, there is no excuse to not do your research. All you have to do is get online and do a 5-minute search to be aware what services you're being offered is legitimate. There are tons of scams. I couldn't write about it. There are employment scams, there are business scams, there are people who pretend to be the yellow pages and make promises to businesses. So please get on Google. If you Google stuff, you might end up saving yourself years of trying to clean up your credit, and make sure that your creditors know that you are not the one making those charges. So the other thing is, getting back to the professional, also in the past, the thing that was shocking was years ago, a law firm had some unidentified employee, somehow get them involved in a ransomware scam where hackers were able to break into the computer and take all their clients' information and threaten them and say if they did not pay a fee, then they would never retrieve those files again. And as a result, the law firm punished everybody involved. And at the end of the day, it probably could have been prevented by providing training, by securing their information. And it's very critical that companies do what they need to do to make sure that people are not scammed. And the worst thing I've seen in scams are where scams have affected people so much mentally and physically. In one case, there's someone that got conned, and it was through dating, and the person represented that they had XYZ credentials and they worked with XYZ person. I'm not name dropping. Don't want that kind of drama coming my way for telling. So, and come to find out, the person scammed her. She had totally good credit. In the end, she got so messed up by this guy that she had a nervous breakdown and was in the hospital and was hiding from family and friends. And the only thing I could tell you is be wise. Do not believe anything that you hear. If it's too good to be true, do your research. Don't just take up and give anybody your personal information. And if you feel that you've been a victim of fraud, make sure you contact your credit card company or whoever else, creditor, and whoever else may be able to help you stop them in their tracks.
Six red flags that you can use in identifying a scammer across the board. 1. Some scammers set up financial planning seminars and act as financial advisors. They fail to speak on any hidden charges that you may incur or conflict of interest that they have. Also, these so-called investment professionals are speaking on issues that require you to be licensed. Look up the credentials of investment advisors. The most legitimate investment professionals are registered with 1. FINRA, 2. the SEC, and 3. other state regulators. Red flag number 2. When you are given false promises of riches and unusually high profits, that is a glaring red flag. Number 3. Ignore pitches that everyone is on the deal. No, everyone in the world isn't on it, and you aren't missing out. If everyone is involved, then you need to run because it's too late. Number 4. Scammers will try to rush you into walking into their traps. When you rush, then you miss out on obvious red flags. And if an investment is legitimate, then it will be there the day after next and the next day. No legitimate investment is there for a limited time. Number 5, scammers normally send out communications with misspellings and grammatical errors. Do not engage if you see this. And number 6, don't let anyone guilt you into buying stuff. Even if you attend a seminar and they spend 4 hours with you going over the scam and they take you out for a meal, you are not under any obligation to purchase anything.